fan's heart is full of hate. He butthurts, cries, and a dark shadow falls over this troll. From the ashes of a once great fandom has risen a meme, an LOL that must be liked. We look to the airwaves for a vindicator, someone to strike fear in the dark basement of the parents who created him. The battle between fan and smark has begun. With a head on his shoulders stands the smark fan, a speaker of truths, with a voice of silence and a radio show of justice. This is Ring Rust.
Like the way it sounded, and why am I justifying myself to you? This is Fabio Mark Jabroni. You're listening to Ring Rust. So it's time to get into the Fastlane review, and what? If I can have your attention, please. I just received an email from the ridiculous Ring Rust general manager. It's modern technology, so it's on my phone. Oh, right. On the Wikipedia, yeah, I noticed that too. On the Wikipedia write-up, for some reason they listed the Curtis Axel R-Truth match as the pre-show, and they listed Kalisto versus Alberto Del Rio as part of the main pay-per-view. I'll read them in the right order. And I know you want me to do the Magic Spark Ball thing, so I'll do the Magic Spark Ball. What will I ask, I wonder? I guess I'll just do the generic, should I start off with my Fastlane review, I guess. Face turn, I guess. Sure, okay. I guess that means I'm doing it, I suppose. So, starting things off, the actual pre-show was Kalisto defending his United States Championship against Alberto Del Rio in a 2 out of 3 falls match. After, 15 minutes. Decent enough. I never actually saw. They showed a recap of it during the pay-per-view, but I never saw the pre-show. So, yay, Kalisto retaining against Alberto Del Rio. It's nice to see that they're starting anyway to treat that belt a little bit more seriously again. Like they're actually having the two guys feud over it, not necessarily just trade the belt back and forth, which they did with the WCW World Heavyweight title way back in 2000, 1999, 2000, whenever they were doing that. And it's just really like, okay, it's just a big gold belt that someone's got to carry in their luggage from town to town. It's what it ends up being. I mean, didn't really mean a whole hell of a lot to fans after a while, so, oh well. Glad they got over it. Well, they got over it by going out of business, but they still got over it.
And I quote,
check out the TMZ of professional wrestling news. And I quote, on Facebook. All the latest news with some attitude, new and classic wrestling videos, and so much more.
Can I have your attention, please? I just received an email from the Raw general manager.
So now it's back to the Fastlane Vroom Vroom pay-per-view review. So we're on to the event itself now, starting with the Divas tag match, which saw what could possibly go wrong. Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks coming out on top of Bad Attitude, Naomi and Tamina. I just like naming tag teams. For anyone who's been listening a long time will know I like naming tag teams. So that's what I called them last week, and I previewed the show. And I should go back. The U.S. title match, I did call that Kalisto would defend his title. I don't remember if it was 2 out of 3 falls at the time when I previewed it. I honestly never noticed. It might have been, or that might have been at the pay-per-view. I don't know. And also, I predicted that Team Bad would reform basically, and Sasha would go LOL nope to Becky and just turn her back on her, and they'd all go back together again. But apparently, the face turn is sticking, so she's going to be a Dudley Do-Right for a little while longer anyway, and we'll see how it works out for her. And Becky Lynch may or may not be her friend, and well, I don't know. Team Bad may or may not reform, or they might bring in a new member. They might just be two divas who aren't doing much of anything else, just hanging out together. I don't know. But hey, when it comes to this angle, sky's the limit. You're listening to Ring Rust Redux on Jabronology TV. This is Fabo Mark Jabroni. You are listening to Ring Rust. Let's consult with the Magic Smart Ball. Should I continue with my Fastlane Vroom Vroom review? Excellent radio. Blame Vince. Okay? Vince Austin, I blame you. I don't know why. The ball sent me to blame you. So, I guess I'll just roll right along then. Vroom vroom, back to the Fastlane review from this past Sunday on the WWE Network. So the next match saw Kevin Owens defeating Dolph Ziggler to defend the Intercontinental Championship in a nice solid 15-minute match. Rather enjoyed it. It was one of the two matches that I was really looking forward to. The other being, of course, AJ Styles versus Chris Jericho, and we'll be talking about that as well. They're actually both more or less for the same amount of time. The AJ Styles-Chris Jericho match went 16 and a half minutes, but anyway, they gave it a nice bit of time and said, hey, go out there and do what you guys do best. Fill 15 minutes with wrestling. Okay, then. Why is Dolph Ziggler talking that way? Yeah, I predicted Kevin Owens would defend his title. I don't remember if, I didn't really see Dolph Ziggler, at the very least, not yet, taking the title. He might, somewhere down the road, if they actually feud for it, he might take it. Who knows? Not gonna, totally discount the possibility, of course. So, sure. He'll live to fight another day as the Intercontinental Champion.
Come on, turn it up.
WrestleMania 32, 37 days away.
Welcome to my house. Welcome to my house.
So, next up for Fastlane, Vroom Vroom pay-per-view review from this past Sunday on the WWE Network. We saw the six-man tag of, now what did I call them? I called Red Meat District, which was Ryback and Cry Me a River, The Big Show and Kane, because the individual tag team, and then they were a six-man tag, so anyway. Versus the Wyatts, Strowman, and the Buzzards, which were Luke Harper and Eric Rowan. This is not what they're called, I'm sure, but anyway. I don't know if they actually ever had a tag team name, but anyway, I called the Wyatts to win that one, because it seemed to make sense to me, but oh well. Unless, like I said, they just wanted to send the fans home happy and having the good guys win. And guess what? The good guys won. So I guess they just wanted to send the fans home happy. Nothing wrong with that, I suppose. The Wyatts won. They had a rematch, sort of, with Bray Wyatt instead of Braun Strowman on Raw the following night, and then they won that match with some shenanigans after Ryback left the ring, so we'll see how that plays out. Maybe he'll be a bad guy now that he's just in trunks and not in the singlet. Well, we'll see. You're listening to Ring Rust Redux on Jabronology TV. Should I continue Magic Smart Ball with the WWE Fastlane Vroom Vroom results from this past Sunday on the WWE Network? Screwjob. Righto. So speaking of Love Motor, that's one of the bands I would have liked to have gotten involved with the CD compilation idea I had in mind, but again, they broke up like 3 or 4 years ago, so it still would have been nice for them to get back together for one song to do and I have a rather clear, hilarious mental image of Love Motor doing their version of Real American. That's just one of the videos that came to mind. It's like, well, how about it's like an enhanced video. It's an enhanced CD, and there's a video on it. So we just do a video of one of the bands performing one of the songs. Or if one of the bands happens to have a video and for a song that they contribute, include that. Whatever. So, and I just happened to have gotten my ProWrestlingCrate.com February package. I'm actually wearing the Ric Flair Woo t-shirt, and I have the Hulkamania can cooler on my bottle of soda. That's how it works, right? You put a can cooler on a bottle. So, yeah. And, of course, last month was the Magic Smart Ball and the kayfabe news stuff. And anyway, so I guess I dilly-daddled enough. Back to the Fastlane Vroom Vroom results from this past Sunday on the WWE Network. I made this up for long enough. Well, I probably didn't, but still I'm going to get back to it. So next up, speaking of Destiny's Woman, we had Charlotte defending her Divas Championship against Brie Bella by submission in what many were calling a pretty good match for a Brie Bella match. But then again, I'm just reading the reception as listed here on the Wikipedia page because, of course, we want to know what a bunch of nerds thought of this particular pay-per-view. So, yeah, it was an entertaining enough match. I did call it that Charlotte would defend the title, unless, like I said, they planned on having Brie Bella go into retirement as the Divas champion. I don't know. But obviously they didn't go with that tact, so I'm just sort of glad.
Like me on Facebook, tinyurl.com/ringrust. Follow me on Twitter @MarkJabroni. And subscribe to Jarbronology TV, youtube.com/fanboymarkjabroni.
This is Fanboy Mark Jabroni. You are listening to Ring Rust. So now let's head back to the Fastlane Vroom Vroom review from this past Sunday on the WWE Network. Got a couple of matches left. How many have I got left? I got 3 matches left. I'm probably just going to truncate that little 2-minute match. I'm not going to really talk that much about it. It was humorous in and of itself, but I want to talk about the other 2 matches that much more. And I got to get to the lockdown review as well. And it's only 5 matches, so it's probably only going to need the last half hour. Fingers crossed. So we have AJ Styles defeating Chris Jericho by submission. Looks like it's the longest match of the pay-per-view, which was perfectly fine by me. It's even longer than the main event. It's like 15 seconds longer, but still longer. So it was a fine match. I enjoyed it. It was the other match I was looking forward to after the Kevin Owens-Dolph Ziggler match. So I'm a big fan of all 4 of those guys. So I was happy to see all 4 of the guys in action. You are listening to Ring Rust Redux on Jarbronology TV. If you're a Snidely Whiplash heading to Quebec, you might want to pronounce it Quebec. Quabec. Quebec. Because apparently that really gets under the skin of the Quebecois. Or if you pronounce it the way The Rock might pronounce it, Quebecois. By God! This is Fanboy Mark Jabroni. You're listening to Ring Rust. So one last match for the Fastlane Vroom Vroom review from this past Sunday on the WWE Network. The main event, well actually, there's 2 matches. I'm skimming over the Curtis Axel defeating R-Truth in 2.5 minutes because it's Curtis Axel versus R-Truth for 2.5 minutes. So, nothing wrong with all 5 of the guys involved in this match getting a payday on a pay-per-view. I enjoy all 5 of these guys. They're all, they're not great, but they're good. So, I look forward to seeing more of them, and neither of these guys have been fired yet, so that's a good sign. When it comes right down to it, that's a good sign. You haven't been fired yet. So, and the main event, and I couldn't really predict that one, so, and did I mention who I thought would win the Chris Jericho AJ Styles match? Well, I figured it would be AJ Styles, and AJ Styles won, so radio shrug. And just like in the main event triple threat match for the number 1 contendership of the World Heavyweight title, it was Dean Ambrose versus Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. I predicted Roman Reigns was going to win it, and what do you know? He won it.
You're listening to wrestling superstar, the Triple X Sex Express Sexy Eddie, and you're listening to Ring Rust, the one and only wrestling talk radio show.
The thing that makes me giggle on a regular basis is the thought of Georgie and Jomo doing Bayley's theme song, but there'd probably be a copyright issue with CFOS and WWE and all that stuff. So, maybe they'll do one specifically for me, and who knows? Maybe, if I ask nicely. So, this is Fanboy Mark Jabroni. You're listening to Ring Rust, the lockdown review from this past Tuesday, and was originally taped on January this year into TNA Maximum Impact 8 tour in England. So, anyway, I was previewing spoilers, basically, last week. I didn't give the spoilers, but I said, this match is happening, and this match is happening, and stuff like that. So, Beer Money Inc., which was Bobby Roode and James Storm, defeated Eric Young and Bram. Now, was a tag team name for them? I think there was. There was a tag team name for them. I don't remember what it was now. Could I make one up? No. Anyway. Yeah, sure. I just kind of don't want to. You're listening to Ring Rust Redux on Jabronology TV. Who knows? This is Fanboy Mark Jabroni. You are listening to Ring Rust, the Dollhouse, Jade, Marty Bell, and Rebel, defeating Gail Kim and Bill the Sky in a 3-on-2 handicap lethal lockdown match. You are listening to Ring Rust Redux on Jabronology TV. Also, Trevor Lee defended his TNA X Division Championship against Tigre Uno, and Odarg the Great defeated Eli Drake in a 6-sided steel match.
Like me on Facebook, tinyurl.com/ringrust. Follow me on Twitter @MarkJabroni, and subscribe to Jabronology TV, youtube.com/fanboymarkjabroni.
And finally, in the main event, Matt Hardy defeated Ethan Carter III to defend his TNA World Heavyweight Championship.
That's it for another show, kiddies. Check me out on Facebook, where you can keep track of all the news that's right on the mark, from around ringside to the latest concerts. See you at the shows. Later days.
This is 93.5 CHMR FM.